Go ahead, surf that crimson wave. Because if you've ever been horny during your period, know that your feelings are totally normal. But don't just take our word for it. We spoke to relationship and sex therapist Drive Viviana Coles, who explained why you might be in the mood when Aunt Flo visits. For some, they only get desire for sex during their period, she told E! News in an exclusive interview. For one huge reason, a lot of people tell me, I always feel so much hornier because I don't have to worry about being pregnant. Though, it's worth noting that contrary to popular belief, Drive Coles said there's still a chance you can get pregnant depending on if you release your egg during your cycle. But there's another reason you might want to, release down there. During your period, Dr. Coles mentioned, you are hyper-aware of what's going on in your genitals, and that can translate into experiencing arousal and stimulation. She continued, for people who don't actively pursue masturbation, being able to take care of their vulva, but especially their vagina, during their period is the one time they're really in contact with it, outside of a partner. Not only is it the perfect opportunity to connect with your body, but as Drive Coles noted, that's when you can tap into it and find what works for you. If you're ready to get down to business, Dr. Coles touched on everything from how to experience pleasure during menstruation to the best way to let your partner know about your desires. Why do people typically feel horny during their period? The short answer? Hormones. But the long answer, which dives deep into the topic at hand, is just as satisfying. Throughout our cycle, whatever is a typical cycle for you, we're going through an influx and a release of hormones, the 4 Intimacy Styles author said. And depending on what medications you're taking, what's going on with the world and your stress levels, you can experience those as a relief as well as a release. She also noted that ovulation and the week or so when you're experiencing symptoms of premenstrual syndrome, PMS, are common, periods, for people to experience higher levels of sexual desire because of hormones. If you're experiencing typical PMS symptoms, a lot of it can feel similar to the beginning of pregnancy because your body is filling up with more blood volume than normal, Drive Coles explained. The more blood circulated through your body, the more likely you are to tap into arousal, whether it's through your imagination or through physical stimulation. Which brings us to our next point. How can you pleasure yourself when you're on your period? First things first, the Married at First Sight relationship expert shared the perks of having a regular intimate care routine, especially during that time of the month. Put simply, she said, it makes you feel more open and receptive. And there's no reason your significant other can't join in on the fun. There's shower sex, Dr. Coles suggested, for anyone bothered by messiness. And if you're looking to have oral sex during your period, you can use a tampon, a sponge or a menstrual cup. Periods make a great lubricant, too, it's very natural and it's free. She added, having wipes nearby can also keep things sexy and clean if you're a little squeamish or if your partner is. What are the benefits of pleasuring yourself when you're on your period? No funny business here, it turns out there are many health and wellness benefits to feeding your insatiable desire. As Dr. Coles put it, if you're looking to enhance the sexual pleasure that comes from the hormone release and the physiological releases during your period, I'm a big proponent of making sure you ride that wave. It can make you feel better, she continued. It will shorten your period, it can make your period cramps feel less painful. There are so many good things that can happen when you experience pleasure. How can you talk to your partner about feeling aroused during your period? Discussing arousal while you're menstruating doesn't have to be as messy as your post-rendezvous tangled sheets. As Dr. Coles encouraged, it's always important to make your partner aware of where you are in your cycle. She also advised coming up with ideas for your partner, that way everyone involved is having a pleasurable experience. Do you want to have sex in the shower? Do you want to only have penetration with your hands or your penis? Do you want to avoid oral during this time? Drive Coles shared. Having options that you can give your partner is better than saying, what are you comfortable with? They may not know. So, don't be afraid to wear the pants in this instance. Because at the end of the day, she said, it's your body, your flow.